Hello, everyone. I'm Dia Wall with Long Story Shorts, where we're digging into the headlines on your social media feeds, and there's no need to swipe. In today's episode, we've got crashing delivery drones and why goats are taking over a local lake. But first, there's a traffic closure that you want to know about that may impact your weekend plans.
If you normally travel I-30 in western Tarrant County, plan on a major weekend closure. TxDOT is shutting down both east and westbound I-30 between West Loop 820 and Chapel Creek Boulevard for bridge demolition work. Here's the timing. The closure begins Friday, February 6th at 9 p.m. and stays in place until Sunday afternoon at 3, weather permitting, of course. And this is a full shutdown of I-30 through that stretch. Drivers will be rerouted on assigned detours, but expect longer travel times, especially overnight Friday throughout the weekend. If you can, consider adjusting travel plans, using alternate routes, or avoiding the area altogether. Once the work wraps up Sunday afternoon, I-30 is scheduled to fully reopen.
Hey, Groundhog, great job. I think you nailed it. Does this look like winter to you in Dallas, Texas? I don't think so. Temps already at 68 degrees. That's where I have us today in Dallas. Some spots certainly going to hit the upper 60s and lower 70s. We're going to have some lower 70s out there. And then over the next 2 weeks, every single day, get this, every single day we have 60s or 70s. So feeling a little bit like an early spring. This feels pretty good. Plus a little surprise. Couple of days in there, middle of next week, early to middle of next week, and then possibly the following weekend. Maybe a little chance of some rain returning and maybe a few rumbles of thunder. I don't know about you, don't want any problems, but I do love a good thunderstorm. We'll see.
Uh-oh. That does not sound good. Oh my God.
This morning, a Rowlett daycare says it's still dealing with sewage odors months after a leak caused massive damage to its building. Now the owner of the Primrose School is taking the city to court. Last summer, a city sewer main failure sent this black water rushing up through toilets, sinks, even the floor drains in the school. Students and teachers evacuated with little warning, and nearly everything inside had to be replaced. It cost nearly $1 million to fix. Primrose claims Rowlett officials mishandled the break, and they also failed to help resolve the odor issues.
When that smell starts to reemerge, does it bring back some bad memories?
Oh, heck yeah. I mean, yeah. You just think of the times that you were standing out in the parking lot and you're watching the sewage come out of your building.
Ugh. The city declined to comment due to the pending litigation, but court documents show it's invoking sovereign immunity, arguing it can't be sued.
Did you see it coming out?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It looked like brown lava. I mean, it was shooting up. It was shooting. It was up to about here. It just kept coming out and coming out and coming out. Then it kind of settled and it just was coming, it was just continual flow of it. And I mean, the smell, you'll never, I mean, that's just something that's in the back of your mind, you know? You just don't want to ever see that again. We had to carry our kids out because, you know, don't touch that stuff. Yeah.
You had to get them out of here quick.
Yep, we surely did. We surely did. And the thing is what bothers me the most, though, Luke, is that they never came down and told us what was going on. When they were up there at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning and we saw them, not once did they come down. And even the city manager was the one that said, I'm sorry, you know, we should have came down at 4 or 4:30 and told you what was going on so we could have evacuated the building, just in case. They never did, so.
Hi guys, thank you so much for joining Preservation Dallas for this tour of City Hall.
A sold-out tour of what some call a worn-out building, a claim others say is without merit.
As the sun sets, one of my favorite views of this building is how our City Hall is lit up at night.
Preservation Dallas organized this sunset event for people to capture the history
And what is brutalism really?
and find the beauty of Dallas City Hall.
So being able to have this building designed by I.M. Pei is very important, not just because it's a geometric design, because this was also his first civic building.
City staff said it needs hundreds of millions of dollars in repairs because of maintenance put off for years. Some council members have already declared it makes financial sense to move out and let developers, maybe the Dallas Mavericks, take over the land. Not this council member.
I am very optimistic, guardedly optimistic, that the numbers will come back showing that not $500 million, but well under $100 million will be quite sufficient to restore City Hall to its original condition.
A report due in less than 3 weeks should offer clarity on costs. So get ready. The City Hall debate is about to significantly heat up between those who say its best days are in the past and those who believe there's a future ahead. In Dallas, I'm Teresa Woodard.
What do you see when you see this building at night?
Well, that's tremendously important, that it was designed to be transparent so that, at least figuratively, the citizens of Dallas could see their public servants at work and understand that the building was open to them and their input as residents of Dallas. Well, Teresa, I've always supported saving City Hall, and I am very optimistic, guardedly optimistic, that the numbers will come back showing that not $500 million, but well under $100 million will be quite sufficient to restore City Hall to its original condition. And that is based upon my understanding of architecture and at least general construction costs, but it's also based upon the unscientific, unprofessional way in which those numbers have been exaggerated. That is unfortunate that that occurred, because that allowed people to come in and say, well, we should just tear the whole building down and put you in some kind of a commercial office building. And that would be most unfortunate for the people of Dallas, because they would lose the people's place, the place of assembly, of protest, of providing input to their public servants. And it would make City Hall an anonymous fixture in some nameless office building. Well, it was a sold-out tour, and I think that reflects the fact that people, preservationists in particular, value this building. They want to learn more about this building. They want to see it preserved.
The video you're seeing right now is the arrest of an alleged kidnapper. 27-year-old Graham Dunn was taken out of this Galveston hotel. This video was recorded by Harvey Freebird, who was on the scene. Graham Dunn is accused of kidnapping a 12-year-old girl who was walking her dog, forcing her into his car, bringing her to the hotel, giving her 2 pills before sexually assaulting her. Police were able to ping this girl's phone, and they did everything they could to rescue her from this room. The girl was taken to the hospital and is back with her family. It is important to give you guys context of this suspect's criminal history. It's what makes this case so concerning. He has multiple cases tied to states in Massachusetts, North Carolina, Kentucky, Louisiana, and even here in Texas. Particularly when we looked into his court documents today, we know he is tied to Dallas County. Just last year, May 2025, Dunn was sentenced to 18 months of probation for a family violence situation. He was doing his probation in North Carolina. But just 3 months later, in August, he was charged with secretly peeping into a woman's bedroom window. That same month in Wilmington, North Carolina, he was charged with sexual assault and battery of a different woman. This is why police are calling him a serial sex offender. And it begs the question of how many more victims does he have out there that have not come forward?
Okay, all right, good deal. White Cadillac.
It's just after 2 a.m. on Tuesday, and two suspects get out of a van reported stolen from a DeSoto chiropractor. They pry open the side door of the Tacos Juancho restaurant in Oak Lawn and, captured on an infrared camera, break through the office door and begin smashing a safe bolted to the ground. By the time a burglar alarm sounds 30 seconds later, they've already pocketed close to $3,000.
Employees' checks, cash.
Restaurant manager Oliver Valdez showed us the damage the robbers left behind.
It's a lot of hard work here, so people just come and take advantage for that. It's not fair. It's not fair.
But the robbery here on Tuesday wasn't the only one that night. When they posted their video, their surveillance video on Instagram, they heard from another restaurant in Dallas who say it looks like the exact same suspects hit their restaurant too. That same morning in East Dallas, this video outside Tomatero's seafood restaurant on South Buckner. Suspects in the same clothing carrying a pry bar broke through the front door and stole an empty cash register.
It's the same guys, same tools, everything.
And for Tacos Juancho in Oak Lawn, this was their second robbery in just the first 5 months of being open. This surveillance video from September, a single suspect breaking and grabbing a cash register first, but then carrying away a small office safe that was not bolted to the floor. Tacos Juancho is already dealing with weeks of road construction they say is impacting business, but the up-and-coming restaurant is getting support from its loyal customers.
But what I'm saying, God is on our side.
And they hope police investigations and the reach of this surveillance video will prove to be on their side too. In Oak Lawn, I'm Kevin Reese.
We are here at Prairie Land Detention Center here in Alvarado. It's also a Dallas field office for Homeland Security. There are a lot of people here in this visitor parking lot. A lot of these people are here for visitation of a loved one who's been detained by ICE. We're here connecting with a woman by the name of Heather. She lives in Collin County. She is here visiting with her husband. Her husband's name is Rafael. He went in for his yearly check-in and was detained on the spot. Rafael and Heather were married in 2025. Rafael is originally from Venezuela. He was born there, then had to leave because it was unsafe. He came to the border and then sought asylum. Heather tells us they filed for a spousal visa with the hopes of getting a green card. Now, while all that was happening, the Trump administration put a pause on processing all those applications, especially from Venezuela. He gets detained on January 15th. That's the day of his check-in. Heather says he's in a minimum security location with 60 to 70 other men. She makes this 2-hour drive from McKinney. She's a school teacher there. These detention visits happen at very limited times. Heather tells us this time around she baked muffins for those who work inside the detention center, saying they are innocent in this complex immigration fight. The muffins were not allowed in. She also brought board games to give to Rafael. Those were also denied. Now, she wants to emphasize her husband has no criminal history, and she will continue fighting for his release.
Yeah, the fire department has just arrived to put out flames you see behind me next to the interstate. This grass fire just happened during the evening commute. There has been a Tarrant County sheriff here alerting drivers on the interstate about the fire. There is some smoke going over into traffic, but for the most part, it hasn't impeded the interstate traffic or the evening commute. It has slowed things down a little bit in this particular section. This is right next to one of the exits off the interstate, and this fire has been burning for a few minutes. The Fort Worth Fire Department is just now arriving here on the scene. The first truck just pulled up, and as you can see right here, firefighters are getting out actually to extinguish the grass fire. Another truck has just arrived as well. This is the time of year, since the grass is very dry, it's very easy for things to burn, especially on the side of the interstate. What exactly causes fire, we don't know, but fortunately there is no one injured at this point, and firefighters are here to take care of this. This happened during the evening commute. It has slowed down traffic a little bit on the interstate. Of course, people are trying to see what's happening, and the smoke itself getting drivers' attention.
Nowhere in the country do they produce football players like we do right here in North Texas. We've always known that, but if you need any more proof, just take a look at the 3 major NFL awards handed out last night. Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's playing in the Super Bowl this Sunday. He hails from Rockwall. The Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett of Arlington Martin, and the NFL MVP, Matthew Stafford of Highland Park. All 3 right here from North Texas, the best Texas.
Hey, you guys. So technically, the Anthony Davis trade doesn't end the Luka Doncic trade saga. I mean, there's still players who will come from this trade, and you make the case, very straight line, that Davis came from Luka, and there are more players to come. However, when you look at it symbolically, the fact now that the centerpiece of the Luka Doncic trade, as well as the architect of that trade, Nico Harrison, are both no longer a part of the organization, I do think it's going to be easier now for Maverick fans to just kind of move on. It was such a bad year. And of course, this Anthony Davis trade, nearly a year to the day from the Luka trade, such a bad year in Maverickville. Now that Davis is gone, I do think it'll be easier for Maverick fans to move on. And the numbers are stunning for Anthony Davis. While we all know that he was injury prone, hence the nickname Street Clothes, I mean, he only played 29 of 83 potential regular season games with the Mavericks. 29 of 83. Luka Doncic has 29 30-point games this season alone, for comparison's sake. So it's just tough to fathom how bad it can be. And I felt like every time he got injured, every bump, every bruise, every ailment, every pull, every issue with his adductor, whatever it was, I think that was just an awful reminder for Maverick fans of just how bad the Luka trade turned out to be. And again, now that Anthony Davis is gone, I think there is symbolism for Maverick fans to try and move on. All right, so let's keep score on the Luka Doncic trade. In return, you have Max Christie, 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and 4 players from the Washington Wizards. It is still absolutely stunning that the Mavericks could let Luka Doncic out of the building, but then also completely whiff on what they got in return. It's just a sad saga, an awful chapter in this team's history. And I mean, there's only one thing to do, and that's, hope for the future and put that hope in Cooper Flagg. The one great thing about this Anthony Davis trade is the financial flexibility that it has afforded the Mavericks moving forward. They're beneath the first apron in terms of the luxury tax line. They will have a lot more flexibility in terms of signing and trading people and trying to build around Cooper Flagg. And that's what it is. Now, moving forward, that mandate is clear. And Maverick fans, you deserve better days. And here's hoping that they are coming for you sooner than later.
Did you know Texas just made a huge move for women in sports? This week, UT Arlington introduced Melinda Nguyen as the first ever head coach of women's flag football in program history. So this means a brand new program is coming to Maverick Stadium in spring 2027, making UT Arlington the first NCAA D1 university in the state to add the program. Now, Coach Nguyen brings some serious credentials to UTA with years of coaching success, and she also has experience building winning programs from the ground up. And guys, this just isn't a new team. This is a statement that women's flag football is becoming a real pipeline at the college level. I mean, the sport is already set to debut at the 2028 Summer Olympics.
And that's why I'm here, is because I think that UTA is a place that those dreams can become a reality for not only me, but for little girls who dream of playing flag football years and years down the line.
This hire is a big deal for women's sports and college athletics. So keep your eye on this program because history is just getting started. And if you want to know more about the program or even Coach Nguyen, don't worry. I put everything together for you on WFAA.com. Just click our link in bio.
3. Hey! Well, the mission of the Mansfield Mission Center is to serve the community. My name is Brian Atkinson, board chair for the Mansfield Mission Center. We're here today to celebrate the groundbreaking of our new facility that we are about to embark on construction with. We're excited to be able to celebrate with the community and bring support to the area of need. We do that through our free medical clinic that we provide health care and dental care for. We provide food through a free food market. We offer financial assistance. We offer coaching, financial coaching, and helping those that are struggling to get jobs, to be able to acquire jobs. We are bringing help to the area of need.
And on this ground, in this space, what began as a very small ministry among a few people in 1979 will continue the work of generosity.
So it's an honor to recognize a significant milestone for an organization that's become a pillar of compassion. What began as a small thrift store serving the First United Methodist Church has grown into a faith-based nonprofit. And we proudly present this resolution in their honor.
You just never know the history behind a random listing on Zillow. Here's a pretty normal looking house right in the middle of DFW and Grapevine, 1,600 square feet, nice open concept, in-ground pool in the back. But this is probably one of the most viewed listings in all of North Texas this week because it just so happens to be the childhood home of this guy. Long before he was worldwide famous as Post Malone, he was simply Austin Post, growing up in Grapevine, Texas, living in this house right here. And that's a fact actually noted in the listing. Post Malone and his family moved to the house back in 2006 when his dad got a job as a concessions manager for the Dallas Cowboys. And he might be the most famous Cowboys fan currently. And honestly, he is a diehard Cowboys fan that goes all the way back to his days growing up in this house in Grapevine. Now, Post Malone's family sold the house back in 2019, got new owners, they put some renovations into it, and now it's back on the market.
Get ready for some big changes to Starbucks Rewards program, including new tiers that'll separate the casual coffee drinker from the folks who go every day. The entry level is green. You'll earn 1 star for every $1 spent, but the rewards expire. If you have 500 stars, you'll earn gold. You'll get 1.2 stars for every $1 with no expiration. And members with 2,500 stars will become reserve. You'll earn 1.5 stars for every $1, no expiration, and have a 30-day window to cash in any birthday bonus. Now, everyone, regardless of status, will be able to take advantage of free Mod Mondays, which is 1 free modification a month, like cold foam or syrup. Starbucks will also offer more flexible redemption options for fewer stars, like using 60 stars to take $2 off the price of a tea, or 25 stars to add mocha. One more thing, the tiers are based on how many stars you earned last year, and the new plan takes effect on March 10th.
All right, go for it.
Hi everyone, this is Rosalie. She's 14 years old. She's an aspiring singer, and she wants to be adopted by a family who will treat her as if she were their biological daughter. Anything else, Rosalie?
I just want a loving family.
For more information about Rosalie, beautiful Rosalie, contact theheartgallerynorthtexas.org.
We're having our rodeo day here. Patients can come down with their families and try some rodeo activities, meet some of our cowboys and cowgirls.
Yep, Daddy!
It's important for patients to get out of their room and get out of the routine of their lives because we want them to not only feel like normal kids, which experiences like this do, we want them to feel like superstars. Today they're going to be doing some barrel racing, so we have some horses here. We got some bull riding.
He's gonna get you!
We can't do it without our rodeo cowboys and cowgirls, and we certainly can't do it without our patients and families that are willing to go out of their comfort zone and find something new and exciting to make them happy.
Y'all are good at this.
kind of show them that we're all cowboys. We're just like them, but we get to live a little bit different life.
You got this, dude. Go for it. Yeah!
I know that these kids are in the hospital and they don't get to go live their normal lives most days, but getting here and seeing how much joy comes out of them, the character they all have, them just being happy despite their adversities in life is awesome. It's a big perspective change, and to see these kids as happy as they are, you know, just enjoying to get to see what we do in the behind the scenes is a blessing.
That's it for today's episode of Long Story Shorts. We hope you have a great weekend.